Hello, folks. Welcome back. We're gonna run and do some more quests this morning, but before we do, folks that are on the Dynamis Data Center, Homeworld Kraken, and looking for an FC, we are actively recruiting. So come and join us. We are going to be a very casual group. You know, there's certainly times where there might be some folks that want to do some more of the hardcore content, but we're mostly about playing for fun and relaxation, you know, mixing up our work-life balance, doing something different in our playtime than what we do for work, that kind of stuff. So if you have interest, come on and join us if you're on our server. If you're not, you can message me. I will still see about inviting you to our Discord server as a friend of the channel. So certainly come give us a shout. All right, let's get on and do some questing then. I think the first thing I want to do this morning is going to be some of the job quests, and I don't know, we are level high enough to take, well, frankly, to finish, I think, all of them that are here in A Realm Reborn, but I'm not sure story-wise we've completed enough, so we're certainly going to do this one, Austerities of Earth. We may take the next one too. Before we go back to doing main story quests. We'll see what happens. So let's say hello. Yep. Titan's essence infuses your aura, Misty. I foresee no further obstacles preventing us from attempting the next ritual. Oh, good. Shall we proceed with the Austerities of Earth? I have every confidence that you will succeed in binding Titan Eggy to your will. According to my research, the most suitable location for the ritual is a place found in the southwest of Alder Springs, in the North Shroud. Heretofore buried layer of ancient rock exposed by the violent upheavals of the calamity has lent the surrounding area an overwhelming earthen aspect. The conditions will be perfect. I will await you at our destination, Misty. Cool, cool. Let's see where that is. Okay, let's go. All right, I think before we run off, I'm also going to give us some time with our Chocobo out, because he earns XP and stats to use as well. So I'd like to continue growing that for him. Yeah. Ooh. Down. Did I go the wrong way? So it looks like, yes, I've gone the wrong way again. Here we go. Carbuncle's out. Yeah, we should be good. The ritual you are about to perform is essentially no different from the austerities of flame. Instead of fire, however, you will be concentrating on shifting your etheric balance towards the spectrum of Earth. Once you have achieved the required state of earthen affinity, the primal's captured essence will tumble forth and coalesce into the stony form of Titan Iggy. As before, you must demonstrate unflinching authority if you would convince the newborn avatar to heed your commands. Let us begin. Yeah, sure, why not? Oh, well done, Misty. Oh, hello. I come in search of Allagan relics, and what do I find but a pair of incompetent dabblers? By what jest of fate did you chance across such an undeserved power? And who might you be, sir, to so boldly question our accomplishments? If you have indeed unlocked the secrets of summoning, then you must be in possession of the very treasure I seek. How terribly convenient. I need only slay you both and take what I need from your bloody corpses. Oh, really? Gods below, a summoner, but how? Excellent question. Cease with your infantile prattle. The continuation of my divine work far outweighs the worth of your pitiful lives. Oh, you're an ass. Okay. Okay. Woohoo! Yeah, try not to be such an asshole in the future. Why do you struggle so? Oh, really? Your unwillingness to accept oblivion but delays the inevitable. Heed me, avatar of infernal flame. Incinerate these fools in all-consuming hellfire. What? Feel nature's fury, you vile blackguard. Grunt, I tire of this childish game. Thank your gods for granting you another day of miserable existence. So I kicked your ass and you're still not gonna humble down? He's gone. What a decidedly unpleasant fellow. Okay, yes. Yes. Well, I suggest we return to Acapulco Falls. I have no desire to linger here and chance another encounter with whomever that deranged mage was. Yeah, I don't blame you. He wasn't very nice to hang out with. Oh, let's see. I think it was Lancers Guild? It is. Okay. I must say I did not expect to meet another practitioner of the summoning arts. And I also did not expect to be suddenly fighting for my life. What precious treasure do we carry that this callous stranger was so willing to kill us to possess it? Such mysteries aside, I am most glad you were able to secure Titan Aggie before the summoner decided to unleash his fiery avatar. Without its protection, I doubt we would have survived that conflagration. The Aggie of Earth, as was so aptly demonstrated, is not a force to be trifled with. You should certainly take the time to explore its capabilities, as well as its limitations. Be careful, however, not to neglect other magics at your disposal. Meanwhile, I shall confer with my colleagues in the Sons of St. Cognac and see what I might learn of that hostile summoner. We shall meet anon. Cool, cool. All right. So, with that, let's see. It does look like maybe we can pick up the next one. Let's see. Should be shadowing the summoner. How fared you with your training, Misty? For my part, I had some success in uncovering the identity of our mystery attacker. We knew that our assailant was capable of summoning Ifrit Eggy, so I perused the records of past expeditions for those who claimed to have triumphed against the Lord of the Inferno. Of these victorious primal hunters, there were 8 names listed as present whereabouts unknown. After eliminating unlikely candidates based on race and gender, I was left with but a simple name, Tristan. Assuming the records are accurate, this here was once registered as a scholar in the Immortal Flames, a soldier in the Immortal Flames, wow. As to how the man came by his skill as a summoner, or why he sought to kill us, however, I remain woefully ignorant. Nevertheless, I have witnessed him use the art of summoning for casual brutality, and that I cannot countenance. The power should never be employed for the sake of tyranny or personal gain. It was meant to oppose such evils. It is our responsibility to bring this Tristan to justice. Should we stand idle, his reprehensible actions could very well stain the good name of future summoners who have yet to answer their calling. The art itself could be outlawed, the very mention of it taboo. Now, through my inquiries, I was able to determine that a war comrade from Tristan's days in the military resides in Little Alamigo. I ask that you pay a visit to this former soldier and learn what he knows of our callous villain. Alright, I think there is an aetheryte out there, so this should be easy. Well, seems like Tristan wasn't telling tall tales after all. He said I could expect some primal-addled sod to show up and start asking questions. Why don't you stay here and play with some friends of mine? I've a message to deliver. She's all yours, ladies. Oh, really? Okay. Well, here's the thing. Yeah, so, that didn't work out so good. I mean, it was good for me, not so good for them. Oh, good lord, I always mess this up, so... You were set upon? The fiend is one step ahead of us. I'd wager 10 years of dig site findings that Tristan warned his old allies long before you set foot in that settlement. They thought you one of the tempered, a mortal enthralled to a primal's will. In addition to being ruthless, it appears that our opponent is highly intelligent and not quite as deranged as I first assumed. I mean, he is trying to have me killed after all. Such a level of planning hints at the existence of some greater scheme, but that is still all we know. For the moment, we must be content with the knowledge that he perceives us as a threat and is aware of our efforts to track him. Speaking of which, you did exceedingly well to survive the trap into which I blithely sent you. I must apologize for my carelessness. I will not underestimate this man again. On a happier note, however, my efforts to decipher the Allagan texts proceed apace. Here, you must read this. With your skills already tried and tested against the Eggy, you should have little difficulty in mastering a secondary summoning technique such as this. Let us put this day's disaster behind us and focus on the wonders that lie ahead. Nice. Has to be one that was already on my bar because it doesn't seem to have added any. Interesting. So it looks like we might be able to actually pick up the next one even. Let's see. Should be Allagan Attire. Greetings, Misty. Though it is good to see you, I'm afraid I have yet to ascertain Tristan's ultimate objective. I only know that he is cunning and brutal and will stop at nothing to achieve his purpose. As matters stand, we but chase after this man's shadow. Such a straightforward pursuit will, I believe, leave us ever one step behind. Our sole advantage is the treasure we possess that Tristan appears to covet. Eventually his desire will bring him to us. Where and when Tristan will strike, I cannot say, but it is unlikely to be on a field of our choosing. Thus, I suggest we prepare for this inevitable conflict as best we may. As fortune would have it, the runes of Mordona may have provided us with a new source of strength. Word among the suns is that a set of Evoker's attire has been unearthed. Made during the reign of the Allagan Empire, these enchanted garments were sewn for the exclusive use of summoners. I can only imagine the degree to which they will enhance your already impressive powers. The man supervising the excavation efforts at St. Cognac's find, Rambrose, is a dear friend of mine. In light of our circumstances, I am certain that he will consent to a request that you be allowed to don the attire. Shall we pay him a visit? Yes, absolutely. Let's do it. All right. Ymitra, I suspected you would make an appearance before long, and I presume this fine lady is the new summoner I've heard so much about. Yes, hopefully the first of many. Now, pray tell me, Rambrose, has the discovery of Allagan-made evoker attire been confirmed? It has. Truly a historical find. Then I would ask a boon of you, my friend. You recall the predicament of which I spoke. Our chances of survival would be greatly improved if you would consider allowing Misty to wear the Allagan garments. Well, she is a summoner after all, and I must confess to no small degree of scholarly curiosity as to the effect the attire will have on one with the appropriate training. These finds are, however, the result of much sweat and even a few tears on the part of our excavation team. 'Tis a frustrating task at times, and I fear they will be loath to part with the garments without some measure of recompense for their efforts. Allow me, though, to offer a solution. Metallic monstrosities of Allagan construction, known as mirror knights, have risen from the dig sites scattered across Mordona. Needless to say, they pose a dangerous threat to our excavators. I suggest you speak with my 3 field researchers and dispose of any such nasty hindrances to their work. I dare say they will gladly surrender the pieces of the attire they hold. Once I have confirmed our dig sites suitably empty of armored horrors, I will see you rewarded with the garments that I myself recovered from the ruins. All right, where is that? Okay. A mirror knight lurks just over yonder. I can scarce think straight with that thing wandering about. Oh gods, it approaches. Yes, I see. Do you feel better now? Oh, there we go. Phew, you have my thanks. Now I might finally be able to concentrate on my tasks. If I'm not mistaken, you were in search of the evoker's attire. I have one of its wondrous pieces right here. You are most welcome to it. I am not sure since I've been, I bought some gear off the market board if that will actually be good or not, but we'll see. God, I was standing on top of it. Praise the gods. Rambrose said an adventure would be along, but please, you must destroy that horrid construction. Thank you for eliminating the source of my recent nightmares. I do not ordinarily stutter, so you see, but abject terror has that effect on folk. Now, I hear from Mitra that you have need of this Allagan garment. I should be glad to see it put to practical use rather than shut away in some dusty vault. Yeah. I don't think that one's going to be better either. But let's go and finish up the quest anyway. Oh, no, wrong way as usual. Mirror Knights. Yes, they've become quite bothersome. I would be most appreciative were you to eliminate the creaking pest that has been plaguing me of late. Okay, job done. Fascinating. I never thought I would be fortunate enough to observe a conflict against an Allagan construction at such close quarters. This has been a deeply enriching experience. If the price is to be my piece of the evoker's attire, then so be it. Ah, the champion of my researchers returns. With the Wrens now free of Mirror Knights, the excavations can proceed at a far more satisfying pace. Trembling in fear for one's life makes it astonishingly difficult to handle ancient artifacts that have a tendency to crumble into dust. You have performed a valuable duty for us, Misty. As promised, you shall have the summoner's garment uncovered by my own hand as your reward. Ah, yes. Yumatra mentioned she would await you at Apkalu Falls. It seems there was no doubt in her mind that you would succeed here. Okay, I'm gonna check, but nope. Nope, that checks out. So, because I am leveling, because of the XP boost, I'm leveling so fast, I actually bought some gear off the market board that is better than the gear that they're giving out for these quests right now. But, no, gotta do what you gotta do. Alright, we want to go back, I think, yeah, back to Gridania. So, this was how the summoners of old were clad. Well, sure. Well, more or less. It is unfortunate that the runes have yet to surrender the final piece to the suns. These garments, aside from the coloring, they are identical to the garb Tristan wore. He will find no edge against you through his equipment. When next you face that murderous cad, a victory will be decided purely by who is the more talented summoner. To that end, I would soon proceed with the Austerities of Wind to secure you another potential ally, though it seems that you do not yet count the Lady of the Vortex among your triumphs. The primal Garuda is as a glowing storm front ever poised to unleash her merciless gales upon Gridania. If you would capture her etheric essence, then you must find yourself an expedition to join. Yeah, so we need to go back to doing main story quest in order to fight Garuda so that we can come back to the job quest and unlock this next one. But I think we have got to be close in main story quest doing that. So let's see. See if we can find where Into the Eye of the Storm actually is. Oh, it's here too in Gridania. Well, let's oh no, let's just go back to the Aetheryte. Is this right? Oh, yep, it sure is. Or is it? It has to be, I think. No? So how do I get out there? Okay, this is not it. So frustrating. Okay, we're gonna try back downstairs. Oh, okay. This was not completely obvious, so airship ticketer to get into this quest. Nice. Greetings, madam. Do you wish to proceed to your vessel? Yes, I do. All right, now let's see what we can do with this. It calms me to look at her. It's as though I've been reunited with a part of me I never knew was missing. Hardly surprising. You did design and build her. I bear good news. The Seed Seers have granted our request to house the Enterprise. We may take as long as we require to repair her. Of course, it would be rank folly to take one moment more than we require. Garuda, lest we forget, grows stronger by the hour. If we are to have any hope of wresting this benighted realm from her talons, it must needs be soon. I am no expert on the workings of airships. It seems plain to me that the Enterprise suffered much from her time in the wilderness. Am I not correct, Sid? You are. Frankly, it's a miracle she carried us this far. As you know, the Howling Eye is encircled by a raging tempest, apt to turn proud trees to matchwood. Our battle will end before it begins if the Enterprise cannot weather the storm. Given time, I believe I can fully repair her. But if this tempest is as fearsome as you say, even that may not be enough. Confound it, there must be a way to brave the fury of the elements. The elements? But of course, that's it. We work upon the element itself. Using the power of a corrupted crystal, we could clear a path through the storm and spare the Enterprise a battering. I see. You propose to utilize the properties of a crystal to alter the elemental aspect of the barrier. It seems so childishly simple in retrospect. Though mayhap not to you, Misty. We speak of the manifestations of over-aspected aether that can be found throughout Eorzea. Since the calamity disrupted the land's etheric currents, such crystals have become comparatively commonplace. Which has been a cause of great woe, as they are known to warp etheric energies, including those of living organisms. The point is, we could theoretically use a corrupted crystal to convert the wind-aspected aether comprising Garuda's barrier into aether of another aspect, one she cannot control. With certain modifications, the Enterprise should be able to deliver us to the Howling Eye in comfort, however hard Garuda blows. But we are getting ahead of ourselves. All of this rests upon our ability to procure a crystal with the necessary properties. Have you any idea where we might acquire one? No, but I know a man who might, a scholar by the name of Lambertinet, who resides in Camp Drybone. Strange as it may sound, I met him during my time at the church. Well, Marcus met him, I suppose, whether out of pity or for want of a more willing listener. He would talk to me for hours at a time about his etheric studies, corrupted crystals being his pet subject. It was as a result of these conversations that poor Marcus was observed to possess an uncommon knack for theoretical science. Misty, I need you to return to Thanalan and seek out this scholar. Sid and I will set about repairing the Enterprise in your absence. Okay, off to Camp Drybone then. Okay, that figures. Why, yes, I'm Professor Lambert Int. Beg pardon? You wish to hear about my research on corrupted crystals? Truly. Well, nothing would give me greater pleasure than to discuss my work with a fellow woman of science. Once again, glasses, and I do love them in this game. Still, it's not good, so we're going to take the money. So rare it is to find fellow intellectuals in this region. 'Tis even rarer to find one capable of comprehending the nature of corrupted crystals. Come to think of it, there was another, a hermit, to whom the church had given sanctuary. Curious fellow, unsociable, rather daft at first impression, yet possessed of an amazing affinity toward the scientific pursuits. But to the matter at hand, did you say you wished not to conduct field observations, but to harvest a corrupted crystal? Egads, woman, at least take the necessary precautions so that you do not suffer from exposure to its harmful energies. I'm beginning to wonder if you've sufficient qualifications to handle such hazardous materials. Still, your ignorance is somehow endearing. Luckily for you, I have precisely the means by which these inherent dangers may be averted. Simply store the crystal you seek within this warded pot to protect yourself from its deleterious effects, though I suppose you will be bombarded with its energies until you place it within the vessel. Well, perhaps it shall motivate you to work quickly. In any case, take the pot to Hahasako, a student of mine monitoring the flow of aether at Highbridge. Explain to him your quest, and he shall instruct you in the finer points of crystal harvesting. Cool. Alright. Highbridge, I think he said. So I want to go out this way. How many times must I be made to explain myself? I am not contemplating suicide, you imbecile. I have chosen this precise position to perform scientific measurements. What have we here? A containment vessel. Why, this is the handiwork of Professor Lambertin. You thieving knave. I shall call for the... Oh, you say the man himself lent it to you. Then you must have sought me out per his instruction, which means he believes me experienced enough to expound upon his explanations. At last, the recognition I so rightfully deserve. Yeah, not better than what I got. Gotta take the money. Alright, this should be with utmost care. Oh, frabjous day, Kalu Kale, that I should be chosen to guide this woman, yes, I, Hahasako, greatest of Professor Lambertin's pupils, shall see that you successfully quarry your quarry. Your timing is impeccable, in fact, for I was just preparing to procure corrupted crystals from the burning wall for my personal research. There, the devastating destruction caused by the calamity has blessed us with a bounty of sublime specimens. But something tells me that not but a perfect peace will satisfy your high standards, in which case you must needs descend to the deepest depths. Amidst the flowing waters and the murderous Muronites lies the most fantastic formation I have found thus far. Take this highly advanced researcher's tool and use it to separate a small fragment from the large cluster. Place it within the warded pot and bear it back to me for inspection. The path which leads from Burgundy Falls to the base of the burning wall is treacherous and terrifying, but advance with appropriate caution and you shall surely survive. Where am I going? Oh boy. Let's see. Okay, I think I can get there from this way, so let's try that. Uh-oh. It's down? Yeah, there's something down there, but how do I get there? Let's try. Okay. Yeah, I can see where if I weren't so far leveled up, this would have been a pain to get to. Okay. F this little puzzle. I see you've come galumping back. Have you the crystal, then? What a prodigiously large and lovely crystal. Professor Lambertine will doubtless chortle with joy when you present it to him in person. Oh, and upon your return, do remember to recount how I helped you with your harvesting. Sure, why not? My keen scholar's sense tells me that you've obtained a corrupted crystal. Am I right? If you would grant me a moment to examine the crystal. Ah, it is, as you desired, a corrupted crystal overflowing with wind-aspected aether. Remind me, for what purpose did you intend to use this crystal? Again? What? To breach a barrier comprised of wind-aspected aether. Oh dear. That may prove problematic, as this crystal would only serve to strengthen the barrier. I suppose I am at fault for not inquiring as to your objectives from the start. Had I known your intent, I would have never sent you to Sako. But what is science if not trial and error? And can you truly say that this failure has taught you nothing? Think, woman. You now understand the methods necessary to safely collect a corrupted crystal. You will doubtless have no difficulty doing so once more. What's more, the crystal you collected can serve as an invaluable resource for the etherical studies conducted by the students of Baldesion. You've heard of them. Well, I don't mean to boast, but I've a professional relationship with the organization. Not as equals, of course. I would never be so bold as to claim that level of expertise. Are you all right? Your eyes seem to have glazed over for a moment. Anyway, I shan't keep you from your task. You've still a corrupted crystal to find. All right, this should be a promising prospect. Corrupted crystals of sufficient size and strength are not all that common, I fear. Fortunately, one of my other students, Siana, claims to have discovered another promising site in either eastern Lanacé. Wait. That's not correct. Eastern Lanacé was where she was nearly killed when wandering too close to an imperial castrum. Now that made for an amusing anecdote. It was Western Lanacé, Ferriciris, on the Isles of Umbra to be precise. Can't recall her exact reasoning. Something to do with one of Dalmad's talons or some such nonsense. What I can say for certain is that she is still in Aleport, attempting to gain access to the Isles. Why not travel there and see if Siana's inquiries bear fruit? If you can look past the crass and violent ways of the local pirates, you might find your time there to be quite pleasurable. Oh, and do not forget to take your makeshift warded pot, lest she think you unprepared for the task. Cool. Off to Aleport then. Here or up there? It's got to be up there. Corrupted crystals, madam? I've no interest in being the butt of your jokes, so if you've no other reason for addressing me, kindly leave me be. Well, I'll be damned. Professor Lambertine did send you. Beg your pardon. It seems we got off on the wrong foot. I'm Sienna, greatest of the professor's pupils, which is doubtless why he bid you seek me out. Indeed, I am an accomplished scholar with an extensive background in... Yawn. Oh gods, just listen to me prattle on and on. I must have given this introduction a dozen times by now. Oh. Okay, this one is, it's probably not pirates. As I told the professor in my missives, I believe that the area surrounding FFXIV is replete with corrupted crystals of exceptional strength. Unfortunately, I've yet to test my hypothesis, as all access to the Isles of Umbra is prohibited at present. For reasons unknown to me. You see, my attempts to acquire this information are often met with annoyance and disdain. It's rather puzzling, since I always take the time to explain my motivations in great detail to the subjects of my questioning. Mayhap you will have better luck wresting information from these yellow jackets. I've all but given up at this point. Oh. You're keen on traveling to the Isles of Umbra. Bloody elves, lass. Are you drunk or just crazy? Ain't nothing there but death. Death and more death. The Isles of Umbra? What interest have you in that god's forsaken place? Ever since we were forced to abandon FFXIV, the Isles have become not more than a graveyard for ships unable to navigate the shores, and a purgatory for the souls dragged down to the depths with them. Interesting. It's definitely up, so once again I'm missing something. Ah, you startled me. Don't you know better than to sneak up on a person at a time like this? What with all this fastuous gossip of spirits and specters haunting the Isles of Umbra? Just because I know it's nonsense doesn't make it any less frightening. Yeah, sure. Ah, Misty, you've returned. Tell me of your findings. Really? Infested with undead, you say? That is a very, very interesting development. Excuse me for a moment while I gather my thoughts. All right, this should be representing the representative. But worry not, my friend. I've given your findings some thought, and I've concluded that this talk of spirits is not more than local folklore. As for why all travel to the Isles of Umbra is restricted, well, mayhap it's considered too dangerous, owing to the abandonment of Ferocirus. Yes, well, anyway, while you were questioning those yellow jackets, I paid a visit to the local pub, since even an esteemed scholar like myself enjoys dulling her wits on occasion. It was there that I heard tell of a man named Skyfrin, who was recently detained after returning from, wait for it, the Isles of Umbra. This is the first I've heard of someone actually traveling to and from there, so I'm curious as to how he obtained permission. Mind having a chat with him in my stead? He was arrested after all, so I'm somewhat reticent to approach him myself. Yes, I see. I have to go back. She calls to me, sings to me. Ugh. Tell Mimidoa I'm sorry. Give him this. He was right. Or you could release me. Yes, release me. I will go and tell her. Let me go tell her. What did Skyfern have to say? That's not terribly helpful. I couldn't care less how much he misses his favorite bar wench. But what was that about a man named Mimidoa? Wait, I know that name. That's the bastard who grabbed my arse the other day at the pub. Well, if you want to give him that feather, be my guest. I'm not going anywhere near him and his wandering hands. Yeah, that checks out. This tiny Lala touched your butt? Fascinating. Another initiate, are you? No. Then what are you? Speak up, Missy. I can't hear you. Bugger me. Is this what I think it is? Nah, couldn't be. You found this, you say. Where'd you say you found it? Scarfern, you say. Was hoping to have a word with the lad, but it sounds like there's naught left twixt his ears. He was supposed to help patch up Ferocious, he was. Company sent me to supervise the lot of 'em. Weren't getting work done on their own, see? Half of 'em walked off, half of 'em ran off, half of 'em up and vanished. What's that? You be looking for passage to the Isles of Umbra? Why didn't you say so? I've been thinking o' dispatching someone to take a look on behalf of old Mimidoa. Tell him how the land lays. Ain't nobody been interested till you came a-callin'. Whole port's up in arms about spirits and so forth. If I had the gill, I'd hire some sellswords and let them sort it out. But you'll do in a pinch, you will. Show this parchment to the skipper, and he'll see you there and back. So you went and had a word with Mimidoa. I hope the valuable time you saw fit to waste amounted to something. You mean that disgusting creature was Skyfrin's superior? I find that hard to believe. But this writ of passage does appear to be genuine, so it must be true. I must say, it is a relief to work with such an industrious woman as you. I look forward to hearing of the discoveries you will make on the Isles of Umbra without me. Really? So you don't intend to come along, huh? Rude. Sigh. Fine, fine. I fail to see the justification for dragging me along on your journey, but if you insist, I will go as well. But 12 as my witness, if you leave me behind to be devoured by some horrid abomination, I shall come back and haunt you. Yeah, that seems fair. Ha! Take me to the Isles of Umbra, she bids, as if it's as simple as, oh, I see you've got a writ of passage. All right then, climb aboard. Yeah, thanks. Speak with Sienna. She's got to be right here. Okay. This doesn't seem all that bad. I'm not saying I'd like to build a summer home here, but oh, the hells with this. Here, take your pot and go on without me. You've harvested corrupted crystals before, right? So it isn't as though you require my assistance. Speak to the man guarding the gate. I'm sure he'll let you in. Now, if you would please excuse me. Beg your pardon, madam, but how did you come here? Access to this island is currently restricted. An old pot. Not sure I follow. Oh, I see. You wish to harvest a corrupted crystal. Sorry, friend, but you may have to return empty-handed. Should be sweet somethings. The Writ Master Madoa may grant you access to the island, but only authorized personnel may proceed past this point. Why, you ask? Look up and see for yourself. When that giant mass of crystal struck the lighthouse, it caused severe damage to both the structure and the machinery within that once powered the beacon. Contrary to what the small folk would have you believe, the fires of Pharaoh Cyrus were not the product of a mage's thaumaturgy or a colossal arcane bomb, but an elaborate contraption fueled by ethereal energy. Repairs are still ongoing, but it's anyone's guess when they'll be complete. What's worse, all work has ceased since rumors of the Walking Dead drove off our entire crew. Not that those rumors are incorrect. I've observed the fiends from a distance at the ship graveyard to the south. What's drawn them to our shores is still a mystery, though. I'll make you a deal, Misty. Help me unravel this mystery, and I'll bring you your corrupted crystal. In fact, I shall begin searching for one that satisfies your requirements. As for where to begin your inquiries into the situation, it so happens that a party of 3 adventurers came ashore not long ago, seeking to scavenge valuable trinkets at the ship graveyard. I'd be surprised if they knew nothing of the undead infestation, so it might behoove you to question them. All right, guys, what do you got? Isht, all there for the taken. 5 bleeding years worth of wreckage and their cargo. But those queer dead things and that voice, actually, the voice was quite nice. You saw 'em too, right? Dead people just shambling about without a care in the world, except when they do seem to care, that is, and start shuffling toward the water. God's that voice, that single fleeting verse. I can still hear it. Stay clear of the southern shore, friend. It took every ounce of my strength to resist. This talk of an alluring voice is disturbingly familiar, as if... But that's impossible. They're all dead, aren't they? Well, I don't know because I don't know who they are, but maybe you'll tell me. This should be history repeating. But if they have returned, that would mean... Oh, beg your pardon. I was just, thinking about something. Which reminds me, I received word that Master Mimadoa would be arriving any moment. Apparently he grew frustrated waiting for the sweet young lass with skin as soft as phoenix down to return, which I'm assuming is you. I don't know what sort of arrangement you had, but you should probably go and explain yourself. What's been keeping you, Initiate? I ain't getting any younger, you know. Eh? Some honey-voiced harlot's been calling out to folk just wandering near the ship graveyard, and it stirred up the dead and all. Bloody hells. This takes me back to me days as a cannon boy sailing under old Mistbeard. But they wouldn't dare, would they? Not after the lesson we learned 'em last time. Bah! They bloody would, though, wouldn't they, brazen old biddies? Some folk said as the first purge would be the last, but I knew deep down in me bones as this day would come. Come it as. I'd bet me bum ear a siren's behind all this. Nay, not one of the sanguine variety, Initiate. I speak o' the other kind, them what's got feathers and lure sailors to a watery grave with their sweet, sweet song. Oh, but it don't end there. No, drowning's just the start. See, even in death a man stays bound to the beast, forced to do their bidding till his corpse can't do it no more. 'Tis a fate I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy, 'cept maybe in drink, and I'd regret it after. Any road, 'tis up to us to stop this hell's-born hussy afore she takes another soul. Course, we can't send ye marching off to war without these. The siren don't have no power o'er a man as can't hear her song. 'Tis lucky for you I carry a spare pair, and lucky for the both of us I'm a superstitious old sod, eh? Well, she ain't comin' to us, so we'd best head over to her. To the ship graveyard, Initiate. Yep, I can see why you would call that a ship's graveyard. If she passes near the shore, she's sure to spy the campfire and come lookin'. Just a matter o' waitin' now. Yawn. I'm beginning to wonder if some sly bugger ain't spun us a yarn here. Quiet. Did you hear that? 'Tis her. Look, out o'er the water. She's come, Initiate, she's come. Quick, lass. Shove them plugs in your ears and get ready for a fight. Soon as she realizes you're deaf to her ditties, she'll call on her thralls, and we'll be up to our necks in corpses afore you know it. Hither embrace mine everything all. True love spurned, her cruelty's reward. Okay. Spare mournful mistress distress. Why? Melody, last breath of death, the rhythm. Dost thou not relent to regret? Eh? Am I all right? Ha! I'm better than that, initiate. Happy as a sailor in a whorehouse, I I am. 'Cause I'd be happy as a sailor with two whatsits if we'd gutted the songstress. But you can't have everything, can ya? She'll not come crooning round here again, though. Not for a while, any road. And if she does, well, we know what to do, don't we? Thanks for the help. Bugger me. I've clean forgot your name. Remind me, Misty? Don't recall having no initiate by that name. But if you're not me old mate, what's name, why have you been so bloody helpful? Never mind. Be seeing ya, lassie. Okay. You mean it was a siren? But how were you able to resist her song? I see. I had heard that Master Momoda was involved in the first purge, but I never actually... Having survived an ordeal like that, I can't blame him for carrying earplugs around with him. Anyway, I have something for you. The corrupted crystal you wanted, safely sealed within the pot, just as you requested. Please take it with my compliments. Oh, it's you. Welcome back, Misty. You're looking remarkably hale, I must say, and more importantly, alive. You are alive, aren't you? Aha! The conquering hero returns bearing a gift. Might I have a closer look? Impressive. Very impressive indeed. Yes, I think you'll be quite pleased with this specimen. Congratulations, Misty. Seldom, if ever, have I encountered a corrupted crystal composed of such a volatile overabundance of fire-aspected aether. What? You wanted a corrupted crystal composed of ice-aspected aether to counteract the effects of a raging wind. Ah, well, this specimen won't help you there. Anyone who knows anything about the elements could tell you that. You'll just have to keep looking, I suppose. All right, this should be the curious case of Giggity. Don't fret now. I know exactly where to find a corrupted crystal comprised of ice-aspected aether. An associate of mine in Gridania has been studying the effects of one such crystal on living beings. Eh? What's with that expression? I thought you would be pleased to hear this news. This is not another wild dodo chase, I assure you. And what's even better is that this time you needn't use that warded pot of yours to protect yourself from this crystal's energies. Haydn's findings suggest that it is quite safe. Why, you ask? Well, let's just say that it has undergone a unique process that has rendered such precautions unnecessary. Anyway, do not let me keep you. It has been a pleasure, Misty. Come back and see me sometime, all right? All right, back to Gridania then. Greetings and salutations, Miss Shores, I presume. Sienna informed me of your adventures in Aleport. Terribly sorry about the misunderstanding. Though, as Professor Lamberton is fond of saying, no action taken in the name of science is ever truly wasteful. To the matter at hand, corrupted crystals possessing the properties you seek could be found in abundance at the standing courses following the calamity. Alas, that is no longer the case, and while there is at least one suitable crystal that remains to be found within the 12-swid, precisely where it is at any given moment is more difficult to say. Permit me to explain. You are familiar with Spriggans, yes? The furry little rascals that are wont to seek out ores and other stones? Well, one such creature with an infamously insatiable appetite has single-handedly devoured every corrupted crystal in the 12-swid. Fortunately for you, these crystals take an eternity to digest, assuming they can even be digested, and I am reasonably confident that one still resides within his gut. It's quite fascinating, really. My theory is that this Giggity first consumed a corrupted crystal when... You couldn't care less about all this, could you? To the point, then. Giggity seldom makes his presence felt unless there is particularly fine fodder to be had. Therefore, we shall require a lure, and I have precisely the sort he will find impossible to resist. Simply place this true heart. I shall save the story of the origin of this unusual name for another occasion. Outside of the Spriggan's lair and wait for the opportune moment to pounce. As for the method by which you retrieve the crystal from his gut, I shall leave that to your discretion. Kind of feel like it might be easier to get there from Fallguard Float. So let's do that. Boy, is it dark. Ah, pray do not sneak up on me like that. I was engrossed in... Wait, what is that? What is that God's awful smell? My word, that is a breathtakingly beautiful crystal. I see my supposition was not mistaken. And I also see you weren't adverse to digging through Spriggan's entrails for your prize. We owe our furry friend a debt of gratitude, you know. This thick coating of digestive juices is protecting us from the harmful effects of the crystal, just as the warded pot you once used did. Why so glum, friend? You've finally obtained the corrupted crystal you sought, one overflowing with earth-aspected aether. Calm down, I jest. It is comprised of ice-aspected aether. Worry not. I suppose that joke was in poor taste, considering your previous 2 attempts were for naught. All right, this... Somewhere I got these off. Because this is better late than never. Oh, I see where I messed up. That's okay then. Alright, this is going to be better late than never. Beg your pardon, Misty. I forgot to return your crystal to you. Oh, and there was a message for you from Professor Lambertine. Something about a man named Marcus? Apparently the professor misses the intellectual stimulation. Forgive me. I should have written it down. It occurs to me that I have yet to ask why you needed that crystal. You aren't planning anything nefarious, are you? 'Twould reflect poorly on me and my research if it was used for evil ends. Ah, well, perhaps it's best to remain ignorant. I didn't become the professor's greatest pupil by filling my head with unnecessary information. Greetings, madam. Do you wish to proceed to your vessel? All right, Sid, here you go. All repairs and modifications have been completed, Misty. Once you bring me that crystal, nothing will stand between us and Garuda. Well, all right then. Here you go. I'll need to run some tests to be sure, but this looks to be exactly what we need. Worry not, Misty. I'll see that your hard work doesn't go to waste. The Enterprise is already more than a common airship, but mark my words, soon it will become something greater, something extraordinary. This is me. This is what I was born to do. I guess I don't want either of those, so money it is. And this should be Lady of the Vortex. According to my tests, the device is now functioning in perfect harmony with the crystal, meaning we can leave whenever you're ready. But you must understand, tests can only tell one so much. Until we approach the Howling Eye, until we attempt to breach the barrier itself, I cannot be sure this will work. I think it only fair to tell you that there is a small but statistically significant chance that the crystal could trigger a massive... Mayhaps it is better that we remain positive. Misty, I want to thank you for reuniting me with my ship, for trusting in me to develop this plan, for everything. You've helped me to rediscover a part of myself I'd forgotten. I am not the man I once was, and I do not know if I ever shall be, but I do know one thing. This feels right. My apologies for the sudden outpouring of sentiment. I would have waited until after the mission, but, well, you understand.
There. She's ready.
Ah, she stirs. To Kurthus, and an audience with the Harpy Queen Garuda. Enterprise, engage.
Damn it. I once flew in this airship, and I was not alone. There were adventurers on board. Adventurers like you. Just how long have I worn these damn goggles? Yes, I fancied myself a trendsetter in my younger days. The young prodigy, admired by all, exactly like his father. Born and raised in Garlemald. It was only natural that the precocious young student should become an engineer. Had his father not done the same? Father, when did we stop seeing eye to eye? When did Meteor become your everything, and your loved ones cease to matter? You abandoned us all, but he was there for me, Father. There for me when you were not. Though he proved no better in the end. Gaius was just another man, with an all-consuming obsession. And so I ran, left the Empire behind and came to Eorzea, where I built the ironworks. Ah yes, it was then that I first donned these goggles. Eorzea opened my eyes. It was home to so many manner of people, each with their own hopes and dreams. People worth saving, and so I fought beside them. I wanted to prove that my knowledge could serve a nobler purpose. I wanted to prove that there was another way. And it all began that day when I found my new home. I had forgotten how wonderful it was. The wind in your hair, the endless sky. That light. It was you, wasn't it? It's surprising how few people know this, but all pure-blood Garleans have a third eye. Perhaps mine helped me recognize you, or perhaps it was just a lucky guess. The Enterprise was made for this. To carry Eorzea's protectors into battle. I am proud to be able to call her my own.
Sid? What exactly do you remember?
Alfinord, my boy. Sorry to have been such a burden. I remember everything. My name, my people, and my purpose. Everything. Come, it would be rude to keep Garuda waiting.
All our efforts, all our travails, all of it was for this. Make ready, Misty, for the end is nigh, be it hers or our own. All right, we can do it with NPCs, so we're going to. Who dares intrude upon my sanctuary? Your insolence shall not go unpunished, landwalkers. "12 preserve. She's huge. As I live and breathe. Over there, look. Amalja and Kobold prisoners. But why would the Ixali bring them here? Wherefore come you hither, foolish mortals? Garuda, we are come to put an end to your reign of terror. Hear you this blasphemy, my children? These landwalkers would bring me low. And who are bound to crawl upon the earth should revere me, for I am the wind. Did we not take to the skies and slip your defenses? Are we bound by nothing, Garuda? Oh, we are bound by nothing, Garuda. You think your playthings give you strength? They will not help you here, Landwalker. This is my realm, where none can challenge my supremacy. Struggle though you may, I shall slake the roots with your blood and festoon the canopy with your entrails. Ah ha 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 ha! Squawk, slay the unfeathered ones. We shall, as an offering to Garuda, they will serve. Leave the Ixal to us, Misty. We will keep them distracted while you deal with her. Do not fail, Misty. Remember, you fight for the Scions, for Eorzea. This worm would die by mine own hand. Come, then, I shall grant you that which you seek. All right. Let's see how we do here. What? No, 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 no! What? How in the hells? This is my realm. You have no hope here. None. None! Did you truly believe you could defy a god, Landwalkers? My power is limitless, my children legion, and they have rendered unto me a wealth of crystals. Their gifts sustain me, their faith empowers me. None save my children will escape the reckoning, mortals, and those who would use my crystals to waken the rest shall realize the folly of their faith. Then all shall worship none but me, the one true God. Of course, worship. So long as the Ix'll keep praying, she will never fall. Then let's stop them. Ugh! No harm will come to my children. This is only the beginning, Landwalkers. All who oppose me shall suffer for their defiance. Soon the worms of the forest shall receive my judgment. The desert vermin next. Their walls of stone will not shield them from the tempest. And then I will take vengeance on the sea lice. Their wooden boats can outrun the wind. Tremble, mortals, for I shall visit you all in time, and all shall be mine. All mine. You, Landwalker, you who dared to raise your hand against me, you shall be the first to pay for your sins, not with your death, but with your life. You will serve me, Landwalker, to your last breath. No, no! I claimed you. You should be mine. What? What are you? What have you done to me? No mortal should possess such power. This is impossible.
Why do you not tremble at my might? Why do you not beg for mercy? Why do you not die? We've done it!
Ah! Impossible it is! Kill you all!
Is that all? O Lady of the Vortex, O mighty Garuda, of all primals the most terrible, I say again, is that all?
Gaius!
Ah, Sid, my boy, you look well, for one who has forsaken kin and country. I wonder what else you will forsake before the day is done.
What?
What exactly did you hope to accomplish here this day? Well, I shall accomplish far more.
Is that all? Is that all? Insolent mortal! I shall make you suffer! That foul stench! I see now. She has touched you! Very well.
Seven hells, does she still mean to fight?
Our Lord of the Inferno Almighty, he freed, brought us succor in our hour of need.
Save us, Titan, Lord of Crags! Ah, it hurts us so! The pain! The pain!
What is she? 12 preserve. She cannot mean to... No. No, this is all wrong.
Stop gawping, boy. We must run.
Surrender yourselves unto me. I would feast upon your ether. None shall stand against the wind.
Bear witness to the glory of the Empire! It is you who will suffer, Garuda. Ancient Alleg had ways of dealing with your kind. Now, look on their ultimate weapon, Icon, and despair.
No! No! No!
magnificent. It exceeds all expectation.
With each primal it consumes, it grows more powerful. A marvel, is it not?
Such is the fate of those who oppose the Empire. There will be no warriors of light to save you this time. If your leaders are as wise as they are reported, they will surrender. Your skills are impressive, but they will not be enough.
"12, have mercy. What chance have we against such an ungodly creation? And who was that armored devil?"
That was Gaius van Balsar, Legatus of the 14th Imperial Legion, and Supreme Commander of the Garlean invasion force in Eorzea.
Of course. The Black Wolf. How could I not realize? Grandfather mentions him in his journal.
I was never so naive as to think the man would abandon his ambitions. But these developments are beyond my worst expectations. What have you been doing these past 5 years? How could something of this magnitude have escaped the Alliance's attention?
We heard no whispers, saw no signs. In the wake of the calamity, the Empire seized land and built outposts, but that was the extent of their aggression.
Damn it, Gaius! Where in the 7 hells did you find that thing?
It has been a day of unexpected developments, but the fact remains, Garuda is no longer a threat. While I take no comfort in the manner of her downfall, it does mean that we may safely put the matter of the primals to one side, for the time being at least.
Which just leaves the matter of Gaius's new toy.
Indeed. That weapon poses the greatest threat to Eorzea. It must be destroyed. But first, we must needs find out all we can. Let us make for Vesper Bay. We shall rebuild the Scions. All is not yet lost, my friend, for we bear the light, and shall surely lead our people from the darkness.
Well, that was an experience I would rather not have again. Yeah. Something has been troubling me, Misty. Shortly before the Black Wolf took center stage, when Garuda attempted to claim you as her own, I could have sworn I saw... but I'm sure I was mistaken. In times of great stress, the evidence of the eye is apt to be misled by even the most inquiring mind. Forget I mentioned it. Returning to the subject of our earlier discussion, we may consider the matter of the primals closed until further notice. No beast tribe will dare summon their gods so long as that weapon exists. Truly, a more effective deterrent I could not imagine. It almost seems a shame to plot its destruction. Not better. Take the money. All right, this should be Reclamation. It is past time that we return to the Waking Sands. To leave our headquarters in disrepair any longer would be to dishonor the memory of those who fell there. We have been brought to our knees, but we will rest, rebuild, and rise once more. Tell me, Misty, does odd here strike you as odd? I see signs of recent habitation. Could it be that we have trespassers? Perhaps it is just my imagination. Come, let us proceed into the solar. Not better. Have to take the money. Wait. Who goes there? Now, Ida. Is that any way to greet a friend? Alphino. Misty. Sid? Wait, is this a dream? Not that I'm aware of. It's been a while, Ida. I don't believe it. I was sure you'd been. This place has seen better days. You know I wasn't actually here when I was still in talks at the Adder's Nest. The first I knew about it was when I came back and I saw Ida. The church had taken care of the bodies, but that still left the stains. It was hard to know where to start if Y'shtola hadn't been here to help me. Y'shtola is here too? Yes, but she's not here right now. She's gone to Ul'dah to meet a man who might know what happened to the others. Papalimo and Minfilia weren't among the dead, according to the church. Y'shtola thinks they were taken somewhere. Upon the orders of the Black Wolf, no doubt. Why would he want them? Because they possess something he desires. Knowledge of another power that can be brought to bear against the primals. One that Gaius has yet to harness. The Echo. Gaius will be aware of its existence, as well as the immunity it grants the gifted to the primal's influence. Powerful though his Allagan weapon may be, he would doubtless desire such protection. He means to use Minfilia to gain an understanding of the Echo, none of which explains how the Empire came to know the location of the Waking Sands in the first place. No matter. The Empire has shown its hand, and now we must act. It is up to us to rebuild the Scions and save Eorzea. Can I count on you, Ida? But what? Oh, yes, of course. Whatever you need. We can discuss our next move upon Ystola's return. For now, I say we rest.
Hear, feel, think. Bringer of light, brave gatherer of the crystals, thy soul burneth bright. I am Hydaelyn, all made one. Hearken unto me now, for the darkness doth begin to spread. Wear thee the bearer of the crimson brand, for he is the avatar of shadow, whom death attendeth always. The crystals shall be thy salvation, thy blade and shield both. Steel thyself, for at the appointed hour thou shalt stare into the heart of darkness. Go with caution, my child, but fear not, for I am ever with thee.
Y'shtola! Misty, I see you and Alphino are safe. And Sid! That we five should meet each other thus defies simple explanation. It is as if the benevolent hand of Master Louis Swire guides us still. He would not see us undone so easily, not now when the need is so great. I know where Minfilia and the others are being held. Where? An Imperial stronghold in the heart of Mordona. Castrum Cintiri. So this one is going to be called Casing Castrum. Rescue of our allies will be no small undertaking, Misty. Even under normal circumstances, breaching the defenses of an Imperial castrum would be a highly dangerous proposition. But now that Castrum Sentry houses prisoners whom the Garleans deem valuable, we may be confident that they have taken additional measures to ensure the stronghold's security. If we are to free our friends, we will require an effective strategy. And if we are to formulate an effective strategy, we will require intelligence. I believe I know a man who may be able to assist us in this. Lord Portalane of House Durandare. He is stationed at the observatorium in Quarthus. Let us go to him and beseech his aid. Ooh, I might have picked the wrong building. Totally picked the wrong building. Okay. Ah, Misty, the woman who unmasked the heretic in our midst. To what do I owe the pleasure of your company? You're an associate of Y'shtola, but of course. Lord Dromont confided to me that you were a scion of the Seventh Dawn. Castrum Sentry? What interest have you all in the Imperials? They hold several of our number, whom we intend to free. Any information you can provide would be greatly appreciated. I see. That might explain our scouts' reports. They observed 4 prisoners being led into the castrum. A Hurian woman, an Ellison man, and 2 Lalafels, 1 male, 1 female. It's them. It has to be. Minfilia, Uriange, Papalimo, and Tataro. If that scant morsel is of use to you, you may also be interested to hear about a more recent incident. Incident? An Imperial airship made an emergency landing here in Quarthus not long ago. 2 men, believed to be prisoners, a Roegadyn and a Lalafell, were seen fleeing the craft. What did you say? A Roegadyn and a Lalafell, Master Garland. Neither wore Imperial dress, and both seemed disinclined to wait for rescue. Hence our assumption that they were prisoners. Well, I'll be damned. It's Biggs. And Wedge, trust those two rascals to escape. We must find them, Misty, and soon. The Imperials will not rest until they are captured or killed, and if Biggs were given a choice, I fear he'd take the latter. Freeing those held in Castrum Sentry will require substantial planning and preparation. As such, it is an endeavor that will admit some slight delay. The matter of the escapees, by contrast, will not. Shortly after the prisoners vacated the airship, our scouts observed Imperial troops setting off in pursuit. It is likely only a matter of time before they catch them. If you wish to see your comrades again, you had best act now. If, as has been suggested, the Garleans took our fellow Scions prisoner in hopes of understanding the Echo, it seems reasonable to assume that they will not be executed until such time as the study is complete. But Biggs and Wedge are not Scions, nor do they know aught of the Echo. As Lord Portelaine said, this may prove our only chance to rescue them. I say we seize it. Thank you, everyone. You won't regret this. Final preparations are almost complete, my lord. There stands the culmination of 5 long years of painstaking work, but all our efforts will be vindicated when the Emperor's vision becomes reality. At last, we have the power to purge this land of its false gods. We shall give the ignorant children of Eorzea the security and stability they so desperately crave, and which their spineless leaders have so palpably failed to provide. As you say, my lord, rest assured our engineers will not rest until the weapon is fully armed and operational. Rethane, you depart for Castrum Oxidans at midnight. You will command the western front in Vilbrand. The Eorzeans will attempt to interfere with our plans. You will see that they do not. My lord, if this be your will, I shall carry it out to the best of my ability. I live only to serve the Empire. Yet, forgive my impudence, but is it proper to give command of half our forces to a... I have given you nothing, Prefectus. You have earned it. That will be all. Dismissed. Yes, my lord. My quarters. 1 hour. Alright, this should be Eyes on the Empire. My purpose here is to reconnoiter Garlean activity along Abalanthia's spine. Owing to this, I have the honor of being acquainted with Stola. Now, the report of the Imperial airship's emergency landing came to us by way of Desmail Darkhold, situated to the west. Our man stationed at the entrance, a knight named Bracelet, may be able to tell you more. So as to expedite your mission, I shall furnish you with a letter of introduction. I pray that you will soon be reunited with your comrades. May the Fury grant you strength. You stand before Desmail Darkhold, subterranean fortress excavated by the great Ishgardian house of the same name. None but authorized personnel may enter. A letter from Lord Portalane. So you have come about the Imperial airship. According to our scouts, the vessel had scarce touched the ground when a pair of men, captives by all accounts, burst forth and bolted. Imperial soldiers have since been sighted in the area, seeking to recapture them. What? The captives are like to be your friends, you say? Then let us pray that they are yet a step ahead of their pursuers. The emergency landing reportedly took place near the Aram Vale, situated south and west of here. I suggest you take your search there. Seek out a knight named Perimons. He should be able to assist you. The Imperial airship? I saw it approach to land with mine own 2 eyes. I hastened to the landing site, arriving just in time to see the vessel take to the skies again, but not before it had deployed a detachment of troops. Gruff orders were being barked, and there was an air of consternation about them. Alright, this should be footprints in the snow. There were prisoners aboard the airship, it seems, and they seized the opportunity to flee when the vessel was forced to land. The Garleans who were deployed formed search parties and proceeded to scour the wilderness. In order to alert our forces, I returned to my post, to find evidence that someone had been here in my absence. Whoever they were, they tried the door to no avail and decided to go elsewhere. In all, I marked 2 sets of footprints, one large and one small. If you search the area, mayhap you will be able to follow the prints to their owners. There's some more. Alright, let's back. See if we can't do better following footprints this time. Okay. We saw these. Alright. These definitely looked like they were turning this direction. I just don't see any more. I think clearly I'm missing something here. So the first batch of prints were not that far apart. And it was only one set of prints. What happened to Biggs? Because those look pretty tiny prints. Yeah, that's the first footprints. On the map. Yup. Oh. I just wasn't letting the prince thing reaction happen long enough. Okay, okay, my bad. Brr, so cold. I want to go home. Please don't eat me. I'm not nearly as succulent as I look. It's all skin and bones underneath, I swear. Gasp. Misty, it's you. Thank goodness you're here. It's been awful. The Garleans were snapping at our heels like a hungry pack of wolves. I was so hell-bent on evading them, I almost ran headlong into a monster's gaping maw. Thrice! And when I finally found cover, it hit me how cold and hungry I was. Biggs? He isn't here. He went off in a different direction to lure our pursuers away. It's me, Sid. Have you had any success? Tracked down Wedge. That's wonderful news. Now what of Biggs? I see. Well, it hardly surprises me that the big fellow went off as he did. For all the tongue lashings he gives Wedge, he's always taking care of him. I've scoured the area surrounding the Darkhold, but nothing to show for it. At any rate, we know for a fact that Biggs headed west. With both Ida and Y'shtola helping out, I'm sure he'll turn up soon. Now then, I'll make my way over to your position while keeping an eye out for Biggs. If memory serves, there should be an Ishgardian fortification not far to your west. Monument Tower, I believe it's called. Let us meet there. Dare I hope? Was that Master Garland you spoke with? After 5 long years. Thank goodness he's alive. I'm feeling better now, Misty. Let's go to Monument Tower and wait for the chief to arrive. Okay, going the right way. This is good. Well met, and welcome, adventurer. What brings you to this frozen corner of the realm? Oh, it would seem your companion has caught a chill. Come and warm yourself by the fire. I will bring you a hot broth. How are we feeling now, then? Stay here as long as you need. The same goes for you, friend. 'Tis plain you have a hard journey ahead of you. You must find rest when you can. This is Monumental Hopes. I'm fine now, thanks to you. But I can't bear to think that Biggs is still all alone in the cold, with Garleans on his heels. He lured the enemy away for my sake, and now he is suffering for it. I hate to have to rely on you again, Misty, but do you think you could search for Biggs? I haven't the slightest notion where he might be at the moment, but maybe, just maybe, the people here have seen something. A Roegadyn gentleman dressed in the same manner as your companion. I'm sorry, but he did not come by here. Let me think a moment. I would not raise your hopes unduly, but there is a cave situated a short distance to the south. We call it Fury's Gaze, and it may be worth the while to investigate. I make this suggestion only because your friend seems like a selfless sort. Rather than drawing the enemy to this tower, mayhap he elected to pass us by. Oh, fine. Now that I'm less far ahead of level, they do want to eat me again. So that's fun. Okay, well, it's pretty here for sure. Wow. Misty, were you able to learn anything? Not in this area. Well, that stands to reason, I suppose, seeing as he was trying to lure the Garleans away from me. But where within this vast sea of snow and ice could he be? This should be Notorious Biggs. We can't give up, Misty. We must find Biggs before he succumbs to the cold or is recaptured. There must be someone in this tower who can help us, even if it's only to tell us where else to look. Ask them for me. Ask anyone who'll listen, and hurry. Biggs's chances of survival grow slimmer by the moment. Your friend is lost in the wilderness, you say? If he's not to be found around here or in the vicinity of the Darkhold, it is possible he made for Whitebrim. To reach it, one must travel through Dunifin Pass, the southern end of which lies to the north and east of here. While I make no guarantee that your search will bear fruit, it is surely better than worrying in idleness. I wish you luck. Oh, and one more thing. Do tread warily when climbing the stairs here. Not a minute ago, I nearly broke my neck when I slipped and took a tumble. Like that? Our orders are to take you back, dead or alive. Which will it be, engineer? Why don't you come and find out, tin head? Ah, Misty, it is well that you are here. The situation is grave. Biggs is in a bad way. We need to do something, right now. Ida has the right of it. He will perish if we delay. With me. He's not alone. Kill them all. woot. Now we got Biggs and Wedge back. Pant. My thanks, Pant. Another moment and I would have... Ugh. He has been too long in the cold. We must find shelter for him. Monument Tower, you say? Very well. Ida and I shall bear him there with all haste. Sid will be so happy to see Biggs and Wedge again. Aw, I love reunions. I cannot thank you enough, Misty, and the same goes for the rest of you. Thank you all so much. Oh, don't mention it. We are a family, are we not? Well, yes, it's just... I didn't think I'd ever see him again. I owe the lot of you my life. And you saved Wedges too, Misty. I'm losing count of how many I owe you. Biggs! Wedge! Gods, it's good to see the two of you again. Chief, it's really you. It's really you. In our hearts, we knew you were still alive, but to finally see you in the flesh... When Alphino told me of the raid on the Waking Sands, I feared the worst. What happened? The enemy struck, with nary a warning. We didn't stand a chance. Wedge and I were in the workshop when they came. Before we knew what was happening, the Imperials had us at gunpoint. It must have been awful. There's one thing I don't understand, though. How did the Garleans get there so fast? I mean, the Immortal Flames should have seen them coming, right? I myself have asked the same question. That day, when I returned to the carnage at the Waking Sands, I noted not a miss in horizon, nothing at all to suggest the passing of an Imperial force. From this, I conclude that the Garleans came neither by land nor by air. Nay, they were born there by potent teleportation magics of the kind used by the Ascians. Carry on. We were bound and blindfolded and bundled into the cargo bay of a waiting airship. I can't rightly say how long we were aboard, but when the time came for us to disembark, we found ourselves in the midst of an Imperial stronghold, Castrum Sentry. Upon arrival, we were marched off into the main complex. Biggs and I were thrown into a detainment cell together, while Minfilia and the others were taken elsewhere. That was the last we heard from them. Castrum Sentry. What happened next? Well, we were held in isolation for what felt like years, but was probably moons, or maybe only weeks. And then, without warning, the Imperials collected the pair of us and put us on another vessel, which we found out was bound for Garlemald, much to our dread. We knew that if we were taken back there, we weren't like to leave again. So risky though it was, we sabotaged the ship's altitude control and thereby forced an emergency landing. And in the midst of the ensuing chaos, we managed to slip our captors. The rest, as they say, is history. Ha! If I didn't know better, I'd call that a likely story. Sabotaging the altitude controls of an airborne vessel? That will have been Big's handiwork. Like as not. You always were resourceful in a tight spot, my friend. Misty, thank you for returning my dear assistance to me. It would seem I owe you yet another debt of gratitude. There are still many questions in my mind, but the answers can wait. Minfilia and the others still want for rescue. All right, you lot. Garland Ironworks is back in business. Let's go and give the Imperials what for. Hurrah! This should be Come-Into-My-Castrum. Thanks to you, Biggs and Wedge are with us again. Now we must find a way to rescue Minfilia and the others. Gods know we've kept them waiting too long already. Based on what we've learned, I believe it's safe to say they're being held at Castrum Sentry. So let us convene at Revenant's Toll in Mordana. 'Tis as good a place as any to prepare, and better than most. The road leading east, then south, will get you there. When we arrive, let us seek the advice of the local adventurers. We're bound to learn a thing or two that will benefit our mission. All right, let's see. Well met, friends. What brings you to Revenant's Toll? Did I hear you rightly? Your friends are being held captive at Castrum Sentry, and you want to rescue them? I don't mean to discourage you, but that might prove difficult. The Stronghold has been on high alert of late, with armored patrols seen about the perimeter around the clock. Not even a fly could get within 100 yalms of the walls undetected. If the Garleans were alerted to our coming, we cannot know what they will do to Minfilia and the others. We must act with the greatest stealth. Aye, it has to be good old-fashioned infiltration. But with security so tight, how are we going to smuggle ourselves in? Why, I have a mind to walk through the front door. Huh? The front door? Aye. We'll disguise ourselves as Imperial troops and march right in. For this, we'll need a few sets of Imperial armor, a suit of Magitech armor, and impeccable timing. Hey, that's a bold strategy, but it just might work. Where we are, there's certainly no shortage of opportunities to borrow the equipment. Knowing these Imperial bastards, they won't even suspect that we savage Eorzeans would think to use their technology. Then it's settled. If you're determined to go ahead with this, I'd recommend you speak with Garlemald. The fellow's got a personal grudge against the Empire and happens to know a deal about Castrum Sentry besides. I've no doubt that he'd want to be of aid. Ida and I shall go reconnoiter Garlean activity at the stronghold. It would not do if something were to befall our comrades before we had the chance to act. Come and join us when you're ready, Misty. Let's do this. Sometimes I wonder, Ida, are there ever times when you are not enthused? I'm nothing if not enthused, Y'shtola, and you're beginning to remind me of Papalimo. Looking for Garlemald, are you? Well, you found him, whoever you are. Eh? You're looking to get inside Castrum Sentry and you need my help? Something tells me we're going to get along just fine. All right. Getting even with Garlemald. So, you have friends at Castrum Sentry what want for rescue. But Slathborn knows me too well. You can count on my help. I've got a score to settle with the Imperials, and I never pass on an opportunity to get back at the Horzens. But enough about me. Let's talk strategy. Rescuing folk from captivity's right delicate business. A single oversight, just one little blunder, and it's all over. You can't leave any room for uncertainty. For starters, you need to confirm beyond the shadow of a doubt that your friends are where you think they are. You don't want to risk your neck only to discover they've been moved elsewhere. But how can you find out? You ask by following these instructions. If you approach Sentry from the east, you'll see a swampland to your left called the Tangle. Get in there, never mind all the marbles, and navigate your way to the southwestern corner. You'll come upon some drainage pipes coming down from the stronghold. Don't ask me how I know, but one of them leads back up to the command tower. If you listen closely, might be as you can eavesdrop on some of the happenings within. Once we know for certain your friends are there, we'll move on to the next stage of the operation. Now, get going and Godspeed. Okay. Let's make this a little bigger so we can find our way there. The faint sound of conversation echoes down the pipe. What of the captive? Does she still refuse to speak? She may as well be a deaf mute for all the information we've gotten out of her. The others aren't much better. The Allagan gets on my nerves most of all. Every time he opens his mouth, it's only to spout gibberish. I do wonder why is the Tribunus so obsessed with this Minfilia woman. They say she possesses some mystical power, something we Garleans don't have. Mystical power? Like the kind the beastmen use? How am I supposed to bloody know? If you're so curious, why don't you ask the Tribunus yourself? As well try to tumble her. I like my head where it is, thank you very much. Our break is over. Best we get back to our stations. The footfalls grow fainter until all is silent. "'Tis good to see you again, Misty. I'm given to understand you have conducted some reconnaissance. Tell me, what were you able to learn?" So Minfilia and the others are indeed at Castrum Sentry. Their presence thus confirmed, we may proceed with the mission. While you were afield, Sid took the liberty of devising a plan of action. Pray, have the details from him. Good work, Misty. As Alphino has already told you, we've plotted out a course for the rescue. The gist of it is unchanged. We disguise ourselves as Imperial soldiers and infiltrate the stronghold. Garlemald is looking into ways to procure a suit of Magitech armor. In the meantime, I need your assistance for some preparations of my own. Minfilia and the others are counting on us, Misty. Let us not keep them waiting any longer than necessary. Alright, and that is where we're going to take a break for a little while. We've been streaming, like 3.5 hours? So, going to take a little bit of time, find some food, do some of those other things today. And we look forward to seeing you next time. Don't forget, though, we did make an FC, and you are welcome if you are playing on the Data Center Dynamis and the server Kraken. We would love to have you come and hang out.